Hi everyone, I'm Kim Chu here with Discoverless, and we're here to bring you Discovering Travel by Discoverless. So this interview series is all about bringing perspectives from everyone around the world during these times and to highlight some of their favorite spots and to bring more of the world to you. Today we have Adan from, he will introduce himself and tell himself where he is currently located and about his favorite hobby and all of that. So hi Adan, how are you?
Kim, I'm good. How are you?
Very good. Hanging in there and staying optimistic and looking forward to travel again around the world. So please tell us about yourself and what do you do and where are you right now and what do you like to do in your free time?
Thank you all very much for having me. My name is Adan. I'm co-founder and president of Horn of Africa Insurance. We're based in Hargeisa, Somaliland. Somaliland is a small country in the Horn of Africa. We're bordered by Djibouti and Ethiopia, and we're situated along the Red Sea. I've been here since 2018. I moved from the United States to establish this insurance company, Horn of Africa Insurance, with the goal of bringing an international insurance company to this market, in which is a pretty new concept for a lot of people. Being born and raised in the United States, but moving back to, say, my ancestral homeland, which is where my parents are from, and my grandparents, their grandparents. So it's been an interesting journey, but I'm glad to be on with Discoverlist and to have a discussion not only about what I'm doing here, but about travel in general, which is really one of my passions.
Of course. Thank you so much for joining us. We're so happy to have you. And that is a very interesting story, how you came to the United States and moved to Somaliland. That's an amazing, journey to tell. And I can't wait to go more into it. And I hope you and your family are doing, well during this time. And I guess we'll start off with this question. Can you please tell us how this current pandemic has affected you and your location and what travel changes or restrictions you expect to see during this time for anyone who tries to come to visit Somaliland?
Yeah, I think I speak for all of us when I say that this pandemic caught us all by surprise. I would say that most people would agree that this has sort of come to Africa a little bit later. So I would say while many parts of the world were going through very strict lockdowns, in most parts of Africa, I would say the measures haven't been as strict. There have been some countries like South Africa that really have been a great model for success in terms of trying to tackle this very serious situation early on. But fortunately, I would say for Somaliland, the cases for the most part have been generally low. We're now slowly starting to see an uptick. I think now we have over 100 official cases, which doesn't sound like a lot, but considering the fact that the testing capability is still not where it probably should be, it's probably safe to assume that more people have it than have been tested. So for us, we have been really working from home for the last probably 2.5 months. As an organization, we decided to make that call on our own very early on, just kind of following the news that has been going on in the rest of the world. We just wanted to take that precaution to keep ourselves and our staff safe. I would say that now you're starting to see a level of urgency in the market where more people are starting to wear masks, more people are starting to work from home. So that's what I mean when I say it's starting to catch on a little bit later. But it's been, I think a measured response. We're expecting, hopefully things to be fairly mild, but you just never know. In terms of business, I would say most businesses have been affected, especially small to medium-sized enterprises, hospitality businesses, Thailand are no different than the rest of the world, where you have people who are not frequenting restaurants as much, hotel businesses. And so, for me being in business, it just shows the importance of building resilience into your business, because a lot of businesses are just not able to withstand these types of shocks, whether it's a pandemic or anything else that is catastrophic in nature. It could be, an earthquake, be a typhoon, and it just makes you think.
Exactly. I think it's such an important, I guess, eye opener for a lot of small businesses, especially to build up your, obviously your business platform to be able to withstand these kind of things because you never know when this is going to happen. So I think that's a great, message to voice to small businesses right now and to support small businesses during this time. It's obviously hitting them very hard and in every industry. But yes, like I definitely agree with you. And so we'll expect some, I feel like Africa will probably along with other countries, the same travel restrictions, expecting for visitors to come and just making sure that everyone stays safe. And within the next few months, it might be still, under restriction, but, hopefully that will be lifted up soon, I'm assuming. So, and so going into that, when it does, reopen and everything, maybe becomes the new normal, would you like to share some hotspots with friends? Because you know how Devils is all about sharing hotspots. So I would say, what is your favorite spot to go for a bite to eat or to celebrate?
So in terms of my favorite spot to go out to eat, I would say most people here tend to go out to hotels. There are a lot of restaurants that are in hotels. We're very fortunate in Somaliland and in the Hargeisa, the capital in particular, that we have very, very nice weather pretty much all year round. I would say I would liken it to Los Angeles, California, at least in Hargeisa, where it's very mild, about 75 degrees and sunny almost every day. So we're very fortunate in that sense. So typically, I like to go out to outdoor kind of hotels. There's one in particular called Ali Jilda Hotel, which is quite famous. It's in the downtown area, very beautifully built. It's an open kind of Riyadh type concept, which I absolutely love. Courtyard in the middle, fountain. The restaurant is outdoors. You got that kind of indoor outdoor kind of feel. Typically, every Wednesday, they will have live music and a barbecue on the other side of the hotel. So you'll find that it's quite a fun place for people who are either locals or visitors to come together.
Awesome, the open air concept. That's amazing to have. That's always a fun restaurant to go to. So what would you say is something unique about your location?
So I would say something unique about this destination is the fact that it's a little bit off the beaten path, particularly maybe for people who have visited Africa before and are looking for something different. Somaliland could be a great destination for you. It's quite unspoiled. It's not a traditional tourist destination, but definitely not a country that should be overlooked. Once you start to get out of the major cities, you'll find very unspoiled landscapes. You will find all types of landscapes for anybody, whether it's beautiful beaches, whether it's mountaintops, whether it's historical, ancient sites that have been not explored by too many people, which is a very exciting thing for someone who's into that. So I think that's what makes it unique. So I would definitely encourage anybody who is looking for that type of destination where you can sort of make your own adventure to consider Somaliland as a destination.
I feel like I want to go there already. I mean, like I would love to. I haven't been to Africa yet, so I mean, I think I have to stop by Somaliland just to check it out. Of course, it sounds like a great. I mean, how can you say no to beaches and hills? Like,
Yeah, absolutely. You're most welcome anytime.
awesome, thank you. So what would you say is your favorite thing to do there, activity wise, or just maybe there's you said there's a lot of beaches, so I'm assuming that's a very popular thing to do there as well.
So one of my favorite things to do here really is just to get out and explore other parts of the country, get out of the traditional hustle and bustle of an urban environment, maybe go to Berber along the coast to the beach, and maybe explore other beaches. I actually haven't been to some of the other beaches in Somaliland. There's a beautiful beach called El Sheikh, which I'm looking forward to going and visiting at some point. Very, very nice blue water, from what I understand. Nice beaches, very untapped. Not a lot of people there. There's also a nice, beautiful mountain called Ga'an Libah, which translates to the hand of the lion, which is a very strong sounding name. But there's also a nice tourist destination for people who come to visit Somaliland. So in terms of tourist spots, yes, there are some places that tour guides will take you. There are the ancient caves of Las Gale, which are absolutely incredible. I went there for the first time, maybe 5 or 6 months ago. They're about maybe an hour or so outside of the capital, and they're ancient rock cave paintings that are, I think, around 5,000 years old and were discovered somewhere around 2003. And what will strike you is how well preserved those paintings are. I mean, they look like they were drawn almost yesterday, which is quite spectacular. You will also, once you go there, have a tour guide who will explain to you how the people lived in those days. And what was striking to me was how organized the societies were and how the caves had different meanings behind them. So you had one that was called the Parliament area where they would sit and they would have meetings. You would have another cave that was for the leader at that time, different other caves for families. So it's quite an amazing sight to see. I think very unique to Somaliland in this part of the world, because as most people understand and recognize, civilization really came from and really started from the Horn of Africa. So for someone who's maybe a history buff, that could be a great destination for you to consider. Other than that, we have Berbera Beach, which is a very beautiful beach about 2.5 hours outside of the capital city. For those who are looking to get some fresh fish and get out there in the water on the Red Sea. Somaliland is situated along the Red Sea, so you will find that the temperature is quite hot. But if you come in December and that time of year, it's quite comfortable and enjoyable. We have other cities as well, Boroma to the west of us, which is cooler, it's more green and more lush. It's on the way to Djibouti. Djibouti is one of our neighboring countries that you might have heard of before. So there are many different places to come and see. I will be posting some pictures in the Discover List app for those of you who want to see more of Somaliland. Of course, if you want some recommendations or you're planning to visit, you're welcome to reach out to me. I'm happy to welcome you as well.
Sure. It sounds like this is the place to go to really, again, like you said, connect to nature. And I love that you're right in the middle of everything. You can go to east or west to have best of both worlds. You want a cooler climate or a hotter climate? That's amazing to have best of both worlds. And like you said, it's just great to reconnect with, things that are the most important. And I love that you kind of discussed the culture of, of the people there, and it's they pay attention to family, and they love having, I guess, family gatherings and picnics. That's I can't imagine what a more fun thing to do. That's an awesome thing to do there. Would you say that is there something that would shock some visitors when they come to Africa, like whether it's about the culture or the places?
So I think one thing that will shock a lot of people about Africa is the fact that it's not what you expect, right? And every country is going to be different. Africa is comprised of 54 countries, and you're going to get 54 different experiences and 54 different cultures, right? If you go to Marrakesh in Morocco, you're going to get a very different experience than if you go to, Johannesburg, South Africa, or if you come to Hargeisa, Somaliland. And I think that's exciting. I think what you will find is that for the most part, people in Africa are very, very friendly and very welcoming. To tourists in particular, I can say that for Somaliland. And so I would say if you haven't visited Africa, you definitely should. There are different types of experiences that you can have. If you're into game reserves and going out on safari, which I absolutely love, by the way, you're then looking at a Kenya, you're looking at a Tanzania, that type of place, and many other countries, by the way, not just those. If you're looking for, a more Arabic kind of experience, then you're looking at maybe going to see the pyramids of Giza in Egypt, or Alexandria, Egypt, on the coast, or maybe even in Tunisia, which is a very beautiful country. I spent some time in Tunisia. They have Carthage, which is where General Hannibal was from. So the point that I'm making is you're going to get a lot of different experiences from different places. I think from Somaliland, what you're going to get is a very intact culture. So when you get out of the cities, you're going to see people who are living, the way that they've lived for centuries.
You're going to see animals that are out grazing the fields without too much human interaction. You're going to see relatively unspoiled beaches. You're going to see beautiful, large mountain tops. You're going to see many different things. And you're going to see very friendly people. The people here are very welcoming to tourists. It's very safe, so safety is not an issue, and we're grateful for that. So yeah, that's definitely something that I would consider for anybody who's looking to visit Africa. You can have the more traditional route, where you can go to the game reserves and different, countries that are used to having a lot of tourists, or you can come to Somaliland, which will give you, an adventure that you can make on your own, right? And I think that there's something exciting about that.
That's awesome to go into the history of Africa, and I think that is something that may shock some people when they come to Africa, that they can expect so many different cultures going. I mean, again, it's a whole continent, not just a smaller country. There's so many different countries they can experience in Africa, and so many cultures they can experience. So I love that you shed some light into that. And whenever someone makes their next trip to Africa, I'm sure they can start to expect seeing different things, and it'll be absolutely awesome. And so I guess my next question would be kind of shifting gears about, from the travel, but I see that you're involved in the startup community in Africa. Would you like to take some time to talk about the startup world in Africa, just to kind of shed some light onto the business side in the country?
Yeah, so the startup community in Africa, I think, is very exciting. You have many startup hubs popping up across the continent. You have in Kenya the Silicon Savannah, for example, which is obviously a play on Silicon Valley. In Nigeria, you have many startup hubs popping up that are doing extremely well. South Africa, same thing. I would say in Somaliland, it's a new kind of community that's starting to come together. You have some really great young people who are now starting to organize different trainings and bring young people together to start working on things like coding and sort of merging skills together to encourage entrepreneurship. I'm a firm believer that in Africa we have the talent needed to solve many, many problems. There are ways that I think that you can merge the traditional ways of doing things with the modern, and you can start seeing African solutions begin to go globally, right? And many different technological solutions coming from Africa. One of the biggest innovations that has come out of here is really mobile money. And you look at Kenya, for example, which has their M-Pesa system, which means that essentially everybody uses mobile money to pay for everything. Somaliland, same thing. We are essentially a cashless society almost. Almost every transaction that we make is on our mobile phone. When I travel, I don't take my wallet with me. I just have my phone and I pay for everything, right? And if you think about it, places like the United States that have tried to introduce different, similar mobile payment platforms, they have not seen the level of adoption that, the continent has. So that's one example of innovations that can come from Africa, and I think we'll see more of that as we continue to encourage entrepreneurship on the continent.
Exactly. It's your home. You obviously want to have a say into, what exactly are you guys going to be doing about this growth and about this prosperity. I think it's awesome that this time of ours has, really shed a light on how technology is going to be, growing at such a crazy pace. Even before it was, but even now, everything's turning to digital, like you said. It's going to be amazing to see how this time has going to be changing technology. And I love that you talked about the startup community and how it's really growing in Africa. And I'm sure that so many are anticipating and seeing so many great things to come out of Africa. And so that's why I really wanted you to shed some light to it. And I'm so glad that you did, because, I think everyone wants to hear more about what's going on in Africa. I think that's awesome that you're trying to promote and trying to get a lot of the people in Africa to, again, take part in the growth and try to grow the startup community. That's amazing. So I guess my last question is if you had to sum up your location in one word or sentence, what would it be?
So if I had to summarize my location in one sentence, I would say it's an exciting adventure off the beaten path, right? And it's going to be a destination for a specific kind of traveler, someone who's looking for a bit of adventure, but is willing to sort of create their own itinerary and their own adventure. I think it's going to be a great destination for you. And it's off the beaten path because it's not a traditional destination that you think about when visiting Africa. I think most people tend to think about, the South Africas and the Kenyans, which are all very beautiful countries, but I think Somaliland has its own unique beauty and its own unique culture that is going to be attractive to a specific type of traveler.
I have to agree. I think that it's amazing to see people travel to lesser known places where everything might be, set up for you in regards to there might be so many options. But, when you go to a new place like that and it's off the beaten path, you have to create your own adventure, and it's up to you to kind of search out for the activities, and up to you to search out, what there is more to the local community. And I think that's amazing. And I'm so happy we got to highlight, Somaliland in this, because I think this is something that I think more people need to know about, to kind of help, people get to know that this is actually could be a great option for you, since not a lot of people know about it. So, and thank you so much for your time and kind of shedding light on, everything that's going on in Somaliland, Africa, and shedding light about your favorite spots. I'm sure that if they go check out Discover List, and go look up your post, they can probably see it in the app. So I encourage everyone to go download it and go check out these amazing locations and insight about these locations. Because again, like, I am such a big, huge advocate into finding lesser known destinations and finding that off beaten path adventure, like you were saying.
And I'll go ahead and I'll post in the Discover List app, a couple of pictures of Somaliland. So if anybody has any questions or ever wants to reach out, you can reach out to me via the Discover List app.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Adan. I'm so sorry about the technical issues with the connectivity. So I will have to make sure sometimes next week that we'll figure that out. You never know with technology, it's still trying to figure that out. But thank you so much for your time. Seriously.
Talking to you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, it was a great conversation, and I will be sure to send this to you. And so thank you everyone for tuning in, and then we'll talk to you guys soon again. And thank you so much, Adan.